Hello, sorry I'm a couple of minutes late. I couldn't get the picture. YouTube takes a picture when you first go live, and I couldn't get it to do I couldn't get it to turn to landscape, and so I was having some difficulty, some technical difficulty. But thanks for joining me. I'm gonna give it just a second here to see if people find me. And then we will get started. I have a super cute Valentine card to make tonight, and I'm using these 3 sets. So just some pieces out of each one. This one is the Heartfelt stamp set. It's in the annual catalog, and it coordinates with the Heart Punch pack. So there's a regular heart and a scalloped heart, and I'm going to be using those. And from this set, I am going to use the Happy Valentine's Day, and I think that's the only thing I'm using out of this one. And this is the Punch Party set. This is a set you can earn for free during celebration if you have a qualifying party when you host a party. From this set, I'm going to use the You Make My Heart Happy, but there's so many cute images in this set, and they coordinate with a bunch of different punches, so it's a really fun set to have. And then I'm going to use the Darling Donkeys set, and I'm going to use this fun little guy right here. Okay, so those are the stamp sets. And I've got all the parts and pieces to my card here. And before we get started, if you see anything that you fall in love with that I use as far as products, and you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love for you to shop with me, and that is the address to my store. Okay, so I have a card base here that I cut out of Cherry Cobbler, and it's just a standard card base. It's 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4.25. And I'm just going to fold it in half, and then I am going to use my bone folder and just enforce that score line. And since I mentioned bone folder, I want to say that sometimes you'll see the question put out there, if you're in any stamp groups or whatever, what is your favorite tool in your say, one of my favorite tools is my bone folder. And you might want, if you're a newer stamper, why do they? I've got a few different bone folders here, but really in the got their name because they're actually made from a bone, and this one is a true bone folder. You can kind of see the you can see, I think this must be some sort of a rib bone or something, but you can see the I don't know what I want to call it, the marks there in how a bone is kind of porous. You can see that there, and this one has a slight curve to it, but they just feel good in your hand. This one's also a real bone folder here, and there you can see what I'm talking about. And these I've had for many, many years. These are plastic, and this one's a Martha Stewart one. This one was from Fun Stamper's Journey. These are both similar in shape. The only thing that's a little bit different, this one has a sharper point on it. This one I got just because it's pretty and it's got bling on it, and so, you know, had to have it. What I like about these is the grip. I like how it's cut out here and it's easy to hold on to, and it's longer than my real bone folders there. So that's that. This one was one that just came. I probably would not buy one or get one for myself that's this big. I don't see the the need for one that big. It came in a set, I think, with oh, it's cut and emboss machine. I can't think of what it's called. It's the little hand crank one from Provo Craft. I don't think you can even get them anymore. But it came in a set with a paper cutter and that, so that came along with that. This one is a real bone folder, and it was on a keychain, and it was just a little take along one. When you go somewhere, you just have it with you on your keychain. And I think maybe my husband bought it for me or something, I can't remember, but I've had it for a really long time too. So there's a little history on bone folders, and that being one of my favorite tools. Okay, so here is our cherry cobbler card base. Then I cut a layer out of early espresso, and I'll just measure it for you. I cut it a little bit, let's see, I think I cut it a little bit smaller. So this layer is 5 inches by 3 3/4. And then I cut this fun piece, and it is 4 7/8 by 3 1 2 3 4 5/8. Okay, and this paper is, I used this in one of my last videos too. It's called the In Good Taste Designer Series paper. This is in the annual catalog, and it's all these fun wood and fabric and like marble. It's all just a bunch of textures and just really fun prints, things you would find around maybe the inside or outside of your home. Okay, so that's that. I liked this piece because it looks like barn wood to me. So this is going to be layering on that right there, and I think we can go ahead and just attach that. And I'm just going to use my ATG because that is my adhesive of choice. You can use whatever you have. So I just wanted that brown to be a little border there behind our designer paper. So there we go with that. And then I'm going to bring these punches in, and I've got a small piece of cherry cobbler here. I'm going to use the scalloped punch and cut a heart out of that. They cut really nice. And then with this one, I'm going to cut a piece out of Real Red. And I'm also going to cut a piece out of Melon Mambo. Let's see here. Guess I'll cut it right there. Okay, so I'm going to set the red ones aside, and this one I am going to run through this embossing folder. This is the Scripty 3D embossing folder. And so it's just got a bunch of writing on here. You can actually read what it says. But when I was looking at it, I spotted the word sweet right there. And I thought that was cute since this was going to be a Valentine card. I kind of wanted, and there's the word, no, that's heard. I thought maybe it was heart. So I'm going to lay it so that that word sweet is there. I don't know if anybody would actually read this on the card, but just in case. So I'm going to go ahead and run this through my machine and emboss it. And I just wanted to say thank you for popping on and watching me. I really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. I would love that. And be sure to say hello if you'd like to in the chat. That's always fun to be able to chat with people. Okay, so let's see how it turned out here. There it is embossed with all that writing. And I'm going to get out my Whisper White pigment ink. Now the new pads look a little different than this, and pigment ink is a thicker, creamier ink that it's best if you heat set it or heat emboss it because it stays wet for a really long time. But what I'm going to do is I am just going to lay this heart down on here face down, and I'm just going to tap it around so that it picks up some of that white ink on that raised writing. Okay, let's see here. All right, I think it needs a little bit more there. So maybe I will just tap it a little bit firmer here and we'll see what happens. I really mostly just wanted it on the words. It's going to pick it up some here and there otherwise, but kind of just wanted it mostly on the words. But there we go. Okay, I'm liking that. It's got that mixed media sort of look about it. And it's really wet, and so I'm going to just bring in my little homemade embossing board here and my heat tool, so it's going to be a little bit noisy for a minute, and I'm going to dry this a bit. Now, if you wanted, you could go ahead and put some clear or white embossing powder on that and emboss it if you want, but that wasn't really what I planned to do here. And I can see that it's drying. It's not looking so wet and shiny. I think I'll flip it over because my paper's wanting to curl just a little bit. All right, we'll see how that is. And it might still be a little bit wet. Not too bad, but we'll go with that. I think that's gonna be fine now. All right, so there we have those pieces. Now I have a piece of white here, and I'm going to use that stamp, the one from Punch Party that says "You make my heart happy." And I am just going to stamp that with the real red ink. And let me see. Yeah, I think we're good here. There we go. Whoops. Okay. I'm just going to bring my chamois in here and give that a quick scrub. Love this chamois. I know it looks really dirty, but it is stained from so much use. Okay, now I'm going to bring this heart punch back in again, and I think I'm going to need to put a little handle on this. So I've got a piece of sticky note there so that I've got something to hang on to when I put my paper in here. Put it where I want it. There we go. And now I can set that over there with the other hearts. And I have another little scrap of white here. And I've got this little cute donkey stamp mounted. This one is a red rubber stamp. And I'm going to stamp him on there with some Tuxedo Black Memento ink. I love this donkey set. It's so cute. We're just going to stamp him right down there. Too cute. And I will clean this one off real quick too. Cleans up so quickly. All right, now I'm going to color him up with just a few markers here. I've got, these are the Stamp and Blend markers. They're an alcohol marker, and I am going to use Light Flirty Flamingo and just color the inside of his ear here. And then I will also give him a pink cheek in a minute. And then I've got Light Smoky Slate. And he's going to be a gray donkey. You can color him brown or gray, whatever color you want to color him. But he's going to be a gray one this time. And I'm not going to do anything real fancy, just get some color here. And the way he's positioned, you can make him dancing, standing up, kicking his heels up. He's just having a good time. And then I'm going to use the dark smoky slate just to color his mane and give him some color up there in his hair. I'm going to color his snout or his muzzle, whatever you want to call it, darker. You'll find when you're coloring with alcohol markers that the more you pick up and set down your marker, the wetter the tip gets. So you just kind of need to be aware of that a little bit. So that your ink doesn't bleed out of the lines where you don't want it. And still I have that happen. I'm just going to do a little bit of shading here, not get carried away with it. All right. And then I'll take the light one again and blend that out a little bit. I didn't really put any on his ears, so I'm just going to give another coat up there of that. And then just go around in circular motions there to blend out that line. And I went out of the line just ever so much right there. So I'm going to get my blender pen here. My color lifter, I should say. Make sure there's no other color on it. And I'm just going to push that color back to where it came from. And get rid of it there. Okay. So now I have light basic black, and I'm just going to do his hooves. Gosh, it's raining here. It's snowing in a lot of places in Oregon where they don't usually get much snow. Now I'm going to take that Flirty Flamingo again, and I'm going to just give him a cute pink cheek here, just for fun. All right. And there is not any dies for this set, so I'm just going to fussy cut this out real quick. And fussy cutting is not one of my favorite things to do. I have to say though, I don't mind doing it when I'm paper piecing, which is fun. And paper piecing, if you've never done that, it's when you stamp and then you stamp again on patterned paper and cut out little pieces. Say you stamped out maybe the image of a girl wearing a dress. So you would stamp her out on whatever color of paper that maybe you want her skin to be. And then you would stamp the stamp again on a patterned paper and only cut out the dress and then glue the dress over the original image. It's fun, and it's so cute. They always turn out so cute. And you can do that with any kind of a stamp image. I could have stamped this guy on patterned paper, really, to do something fun and different. And when you're fussy cutting like this, it's always best to turn your paper instead of trying to finagle your scissors around and turning your scissors into all the nooks and crannies. Just try to turn the paper instead, and you get a better outcome usually that way. And I always like to cut off the excess and get it out of my way. And we are almost done. I really like the idea of putting him with that kind of barnwood patterned paper. I just thought it would be cute together. All right, we have him cut out. So I think we have all of the images and things done here, ready to start assembling this card. Okay, so we've got this glued onto the early espresso paper. I'm just trying to decide which direction I want the pattern on this paper to be. I think I'm going to go ahead and leave it like that. And then I've got some white ribbon here. You can use whatever kind of ribbon you want. And so I'm just going to take a glue dot let's see, what are we doing here? There we go. And I'm going to start this right about there. And then I'm going to wrap it around once here. And bring it back up. Did you ever kind of do this when wrapping a present with the ribbon? There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to grab some tape here. And I'm just going to put that across the back of the ribbon to hold that ribbon in place. And I'm going to snip that off, and let me make sure that it looks the way I want it to in the front, and it does. So I'm going to take another piece of tape and put across the ribbon down here on the other end. And then I know that that ribbon's not going to go anywhere different. Okay, so there is that. And then while I have the ribbon here, I'm going to make a bow. I'm going to make a finger bow. So if you've never done this, it's pretty easy. You just need to have a length of ribbon down here for the tail of your bow. And then we're going to wrap it around my fingers. I'm going to wrap it around my fingers now. If I wanted a really big bow, I would spread my fingers further apart. But I'm going to hold them pretty close together. So under that one, around, and I'm making a double bow. So around there and around there. And then I'm just going to cut off a length here. Okay. And then it's going to wrap behind and come up between my fingers there. Sorry. And then it's going to come back through that loop. And then we're just going to pull it tight. And then try to get it off my fingers. I pulled it a little bit tight, but it will come off. I know it will. There's that one. And here we go. And there is our cute bow. And then I'm just going to cut the tails here. All right. So I am ready to put this card all together. So I'm going to start with the real red heart. See, there's a little bit of a feather right there. Let me just snip that off. And I'm going to use my Tombow glue. And I'm just going to put it on there like that. And then I'm going to use that cute pink one that we embossed. And I'm going to put glue on this one. I'm going to turn it the other way like that. And then I'm going to use some dimensionals. They're just a foam dot to pop this one up a little bit. And then I'm going to also put them on the back of this heart and pop it up a little bit more. So let's see here. I'm just barely going to sit it down here because I want to kind of make sure that it looks like it's straight with the card. So that looks pretty good. And I think at this point I'm going to go ahead and put this on the card base before I put the other elements on there. And I'm just going to use my ATG gun again. And what I like is I hold onto that ribbon and I can run right over the top of it to get the adhesive on there and just help everything hold together even a little bit stronger. And then I'm just going to center it onto the card here. There we go. Okay, two more things and then some other little embellishments. So let's put the donkey on. Donkey. Okay, I'm putting one pop dot on his rump there, and I'm going to put a little bit of glue on his front feet. And I'm going to have him kicking up his heels here because you make my heart happy, and his heart is happy. So he is kicking up his heels. And we're just going to put his feet right there, and he's popped up down or up there. And I'm just going to hold his feet down a little bit here so they get good and stuck. And then I'm going to put a glue dot on the back of the bow. Get the bow tail here where I want it. And I might put a couple of glue dots on there because I want it to be good and stuck. There's one. And it will help to keep that other tail in place, I think. There we go. And I'm just going to stick the bow right on here. cute. And now I have these adorable resin hearts. These are in the current mini catalog, and they are in the products where the snail set is. And there's self-stick here, so that makes it easy. I'm just going to put one right over here. And one right up there. And let's see, right there like that. And that is the card. Oh, one more thing, sorry. That is not the card. We are not done. We got to do the inside. So I have a piece of Sahara sand color there. And where is my stamp with the greeting? Oh, right here. So I'm using the Happy Valentine's Day right here from the Heartfelt set. And I am going to use Cherry Cobbler this time, which is the same color as the card base. And hopefully I can get this somewhere in the middle. There we go. Now you can always get more fancy with the inside of your card and put a little strip of your patterned paper across the bottom, or maybe stamp the donkey's head in one of the corners or something. But I'm good with just this Happy Valentine's Day this time. There we go. And now our card is done. Yay! So there you have it. And it looks pretty similar to the first one I made. And that's the card. This one, I cut both of these from the same sheet of paper, but you know, there's all the variation in it. So this one has a little bit darker wood look there, and this one has the lighter. So other than that, they're pretty much the same. Thanks for joining me, you guys. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed to my channel, and maybe the thumbs up. That would be awesome. And I will be back on again Friday for Friday Fun Day at 2 o'clock Pacific time. And in the meantime, happy stamping. See you soon. Bye-bye.